Hey guys, what is up? Ioka here, and we are doing another coaching session today. It is on a player, a good friend of mine named Vegetable Gremlin, the healthiest little gremlin I've ever met, and he is a gold 3, gold 2 support player, I do believe. Firstly, I want to comment on I love the proactivity. I always preach proactivity. I always say the players that are most proactive about the win are going to win 70 to 80% of the time. So get out of the base, buy your items, get out here, get vision. The only thing that I would recommend when you stack here is you drop a ward here. And same thing for the reverse of that. If you stack here, drop a ward here. That way you're not relying on teammates to give you vision. You always want to have the worst case scenario running through your head. And that is the worst case scenario right now is that if you stack here and no one's stacking here, worst case, 5 people are coming through here and they're going to turn around this corner and kill Nocturne. So just kind of always be trying to get vision out there. But good on the proactivity. So let's look a bit at the matchup. We have a Tristana Nami into Jhin Pyke. So Pyke's got the ignite advantage on you. So definitely watch out. You've got exhaust coming into this lane, which is fine. You're looking to late game, but you're not looking to win lane. You're looking to minimize deaths to, at most 1 death throughout laning phase. Hopefully none though. Go ahead and leash. Boom, 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 boom. Good. I like that. You started going this way. You saw Tristana was taking the safe way. You corrected your path. You go the safe way. Good. I see way too many people that don't go the same path as their lane partner. So right off the bat, ping your jungler. You know that they leashed. Jhin is missing mana. Pyke is missing health. They leashed. I know it's a small thing, but honestly, pointing out and pinging on the map and even typing if you have to your jungler, what if you know what camp they started, like it can legit make a huge difference. It can change their pathing, it can save them time, it can, it can help a lot. Alright. So right now, his Q is down. His Q is down. You guys actually win trades right now. Tristana doesn't seem to be on the same page as you. You're out here a little bit too far, but we'll comment on that later. You were in the right there, wanting to trade. Since his Q is down, you guys actually do win trades. And there aren't going to be many moments during this lane where you just have like huge open opportunities like that. So another point in your book for recognizing it, and also recorrecting your positioning when you realize that she wasn't on the same page. Okay, so one thing I want to talk to you about is starting Q level 2. And also really got to watch this. That could have been a really easy all-in for them. But starting Q level 2 on Nami is a massive power spike against an immobile ADC. Because it's essentially turning your Nami level 1 and Leona level 2. Your level 2 power spike would have been really good because his Q is down, and instead of leveling Q and getting hard CC, you actually leveled E, which is good for poke lanes and bad for all-in lanes. This is definitely a game I would have started Q, especially after knowing that once you hit level 2, Pyke's hook was already down. So you're not really in risk of losing a trade or getting all-in or anything like that. But ultimately, it can come down to preference. I know I know a good Nami player that goes E level 2 as well, but I personally go level 2 every single game because exactly of opportunities like that. The stars kind of align there for you to get a good power spike level 2. Get a nice all-in. Dump that bubble on Jhin. Tristana jumps on him. Boom, you blow his flash or kill him. Alright, nice. Getting a little low on mana here. See how to play this out. Good positioning, good positioning. Alright, so we see Nocturne top. We also know Graves is in the Graves yard. No risk of getting ganked. We can play a little more aggressively than we normally would here. Alright. Top side of the map is doing really well. So when you hear things like that happening, oh. Nice disengage, man. Beautiful. So when you hear things like that happening, you should be like 1% more confident in this lane because the rest of your map is winning, so you should feel like a little less pressure to have to perform super well in bot lane. The rest of the map's doing really well. You're in kind of a losing matchup here. You don't have the ignite advantage. When you hear good things happening on the rest side of the map, it should affect your play in like a safer mode. Like you should be more content with just farming this out, getting to late game, getting the team fight, getting out of this lane. Whereas like me personally, when I hear like mid lane is getting soloed, my top's done, my jungle's just power farming, we're not getting ganks anywhere, like things aren't going well, that's when I feel pressured to do more on the map and maybe make like significantly riskier plays. Not suicidal plays, mind you. Okay, so let's talk about this ignite. I consider it completely wasted. If Tristana's not going to blow her summoners, then she's in fact just going to get caught here. She now has like one auto from each person left. The ignite is just too little too late. I would just hold on to it. Okay, it doesn't look like this is going to turn into anything. Okay. So this is overcommitting. It's good that you back this Urgot up, but since you have no mana, you can't really contribute anything significant here, right? You maybe have enough for an E at one point. But this is Urgot's fight. This is not Nami's fight. Alright, I wouldn't be moving past like right here. Knowing that they have a hook champion, like this is where your contribution ends. If Urgot wants to tower dive, that's Urgot's business. You aren't going to contribute anything more. This is just overcommitting. And unfortunately, you kind of take the fall for Urgot here, but you shouldn't have been this far up. The concept of presence is really good. I think you knew that you had to back your teammate up there, regardless of if it was a good idea or not. But presence only goes so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't die for him. So I would have stopped walking. I would have stopped backing him up somewhere around here, somewhere around the minion wave. And what I mean by that, when I say that, the concept of presence is you backing up teammates to an extent, even if they're doing something bad. If your jungler makes a bad dragon call and you're like, the bot lane's missing, I don't know if we should be doing this. You hovering the dragon, maybe not positioning yourself in the pit where you can't get out and you have no escape, but but presence, giving yourself presence, being there to an extent, backing them up to an extent. And the same thing goes for like an ADC. Like let's say the ADC gets caught by a pike hook. You don't just run away and it's like, oh, that's his fault. No, you back him up to an extent. You try your best to get him out of the situation he put himself in. Very nice. But a lot of players in this gold to low plat elo do definitely struggle with the concept of presence. They just kind of have this mindset that you know, if the ADC gets caught, it's his fault. If the ADC takes a bad trade, that's his fault. When in reality, you can help kind of mitigate some of these bad trades. Okay, I'm done talking about presence now. That was a really good pickup on the Graves. I don't want to see you bubble this wave like this. Hold on, let's go back and find it. So, especially as Tristana, who has like a very particular has to last hit minions in a certain order because of the passive on her E, the way that it clears minions. You hate to see a support do this. Don't do this. I assume that you thought that you were pushing, but you should be reading the body language of your Tristana now. She's just last hitting. She's not even wanting to push it. She's actually wanted to push to her, so she's safer from future ganks. So small thing, but you know, bubble can really fuck a wave up. Excuse my language. Yeah, see? The wave's actually in like a beautiful spot right now. You shouldn't be wanting to push it any more than Tristana naturally pushes it. Woo! That was cool. Slow-mo. Matrix. Alright. Alright, nothing too exciting happening. I expect that Graves is just going to power farm to 6. I can't see him ganking again. So this is the perfect lane situation for you. You guys are safely farming. Your CS is matching Jin's, because remember, this is not a winning lane for you. Okay, so completely unfavorable trade for you. Let's talk about walking up and getting an auto on Pyke. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. Remember when I said that about the worst case scenario? As you grow as a player, you want to have this like constant like algorithm going on in the back of your brain. Constantly just kind of analyzing what is the best thing that can happen if I walk up and walk up and auto them. So the best thing that happens is that you get a Spell Thief procs, you get like 1% closer to your Sight Stone, you get a little bit of extra gold, you might wear them down, probably not though, because Pyke has gray health and he's just going to regenerate everything. Now let's talk about the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he instantly hooks you, he all-ins you, and you lose, you give him a kill in a already losing lane. It's just not worth it. And if you can master that worst case, best case scenario, you're going to become so much better of a player. Now that was a great disengage bubble, but still, it was bad. If you can master, if you can find a way to just have that running in the back, like a background process of your computer brain, you will legitimately, it'll change the way you play this game. Because you'll stop making trades that are just not in your favor like that. Things where like, I might get ahead 1%, or I might get caught and put myself behind a kill. Like, it's just not a good trade-off. Pyke is so slippery. He's probably out. Just want to comment, that was a much better way of providing presence. That was a much better way than you did it earlier with Urgot, where you're, you know, frontlining. You stopped right at the line where I mentioned that I would stop. So that was much better. You guys probably should have shoved this one more wave. It's gonna freeze right outside their turret now. You guys definitely should have shoved it one more wave. Okay, again, bad trade. Best case scenario, you get a little bit of poke off. Worst case scenario, you tank all the even normally without even this best case, worst case nonsense going on. This is a full minion wave, man. This is not where you walk up and trade. This is a terrible moment to do that. So best case scenario, you get off a trade. Worst case, he hooks you here and you die. Like that. So you just gotta master that best case, worst case, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna change the way you play this game. Oh, that was a nice interrupt on the hook. Still gonna die. Oh, he missed his ult. What a loser. All right. So we are looking at the worst case scenario here. So careful, especially when you have no wave and you are. Even if you didn't get hooked and died there, that would have been a bad trade because you're just taking all of that minion aggro. Okay, clear it, yep. Really good disengage bubble again. Yo, where's the wave, man? Oh, is your ult not up? Your ult's not up, is it? Nope, not yet. Good stuff. Oh, bad stuff. Overcommitting here. Overcommitting. Best case scenario, you bubble him, and I still don't even think he dies. I don't think Nocturne has the juice in him to follow up and kill that. So this is a really good start. This is just you greeding flashing. I could tell the millisecond you did it, it's greed, it's bad. Pyke is just way too slippery. Oh, and chasing, and this just get progressively worse and worse, man. So we did see Graves before we walked over here. So just little bit on the little more on the weirdness. Now I want to mention that just because that worked out, that's not going to happen as you climb elos. That would have just been Graves autoing you to death if you're a little higher elo. Okay, so let's look at this again, and let's think about the worst case, best case scenario here. Honestly, I actually can't follow you for that. That was just, I had initially thought you walked up and W'd him, but that was just another really nice bubble. That wasn't necessarily you greeting. Bummer.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, so we see them leave. We know our jungler's vulnerable doing the dragon. Instead of last hitting these, at this point, the second they disappear, I would be coming over here, and I would probably sit in this bush because I don't want to get hooked over the wall. But it's just about that presence, you know what I mean? It's like this is a very risky dragon. He probably shouldn't be doing it, but he's in risk of getting collapsed on right now. See right here. Now imagine if you were right here or right here instead of over here. You could actually help him get out or even turn this. So just presence, being near, and it's too late. It's too late for presence now. Too far of an ult. This is a classic Nami problem, very, very common. People try to get way too ambitious with their ults. Nami has a lot of CC, not a lot of hard engage, not great at hard engaging. The longer you hold on to your ult and the closer you get to him, the more you're going to get success, the more use you're going to get out of it. This long range ult, even if this hits, it's whatever. I still consider it a bad ult. Like I said, she has a ton of CC, but it's follow-up CC. You want to wait until they're stunned. You want to wait until they're feared, or they're knocked up, or stunned, anything. But you don't want to try to do these big, huge cross map ulties because you want to break that habit fast. You're really good at your bubbles. I want to say that. Props on these bubbles, man. These are nuts. But despite it's kind of a noob trap because of the length, the range of Nami's ultimate is so fucking long that you feel compelled to shoot it all the way across the map, right? But when I play Nami, I'm doing point blank ultimates, or I'm doing follow up. I know for a fact they're going to be stunned, so I'm going to use my ult to follow up. She's so much more effective when you use her kit as follow up than just raw ulting or doing it all the way across the map like that. It's just so slow. It's just so slow. Two ways you want to use Nami's ultimate. Think of it this way. You want to use her ult as two things. You want to use it as a disengage, like a zoning tool. Like if you're getting chased, shoot it in a certain direction to make them walk around it and it's not going to hit them. Or you want to use it as follow-up CC. Okay, so this is a bit nitpicky, but once again, let's look at the best case, worst case scenario with you bubbling here. Best case, you land a bubble and you inconvenience them for 0.5 seconds. Worst case, you no longer have your only form of CC that's up and they dive you under turret and you can't do anything about it. And that, I promise you, that will start to get abused as you gain an elo. You will start getting players that will say her bubble's down, let's dive her. Again with that one. You're not looking to all in here. She's still clearing the wave under the turret, and they've got kills on you. Like, you 100% are not looking to all in. So best case scenario, you hit the bubble, you take a little bit of his health, you inconvenience him for a second. Worst case, they take advantage of the fact you no longer have your bubble. And even though you have had a lot of good bubbles, I'm not seeing you use a lot of the E-auto slow into the bubble. Okay, this is a good ult. I don't know if it's going to save you, but this is how you should be using your ult. It's good that you realized you're caught. They're about to go in on me. This is a good ult. It's safe. It's close. There's no way it's going to miss. Yeah, 2 for 1, but you guys are super far behind. Alright, we are rotating top. Okay, so what I do, and this is kind of like a weird little thing, but when I'm kind of in uncharted territory over here, what I do is I walk around, and every couple of steps I back. I double back to kind of see, like, if let's say like a Malphite is waiting in a bush and he's waiting for you to step on this exact spot to ult you. If you're going around an unwarded territory, kind of like double back. Do this little juke. You would be amazed how many times it saves you, or pulls the Malphite out of the bush, or makes him miss his ultimate. But when I do the same thing when I clear wards. You know, wards that have like 4 hits. You auto and then you double back, and you auto and then you double back, and then you auto and then you double back. You don't just stand in one spot. And it's kind of the same thing when pathing around here. But that's my personal play style. Honestly though, you would be amazed. This is bad. This is bad. You don't even want to be messing with this guy. Graves is level 11. He's got a kill. He can kill you if he plays it correctly. You don't have your ultimate. You do have flash, but you don't want to blow that. So again, the best case, worst case scenario. Best case, you get a little bit of gold, you inconvenience him, he thinks that a teammate's coming and he doesn't kill you. Worst case, he literally dashes into your face right now and kills you. You really, really don't want to be engaging on Graves like this. Now, I hope that it turns out well for you guys, but I'm telling you, a better Graves player jumps in your face and takes the kill. Very nice. Your bubbles are just on point, man. Okay. Presence without being suicidal here. Good, very, very good presence. I like this. You didn't go too deep for your teammate. You hovered around as long as you could. And now you're ready to flash the Malphite out. Let's see it, Vegetable Gremlin. Let's see you flash the Malphite out. My boy! Did I say he was going to do it, or did I say he was going to do it? What a monster. Okay, bad Nami ult, though. Bad Nami ult. Great ult. Great reactive ult on the, great presence. Great ult. Or, great presence, great flash, bad ult. And this is exactly why. Just don't get too ambitious with your ulties. Beautifully played on the Malphite flash, though. Great job.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Oof.
Shut down.
It wouldn't be a terrible thing to buy a stopwatch this game. I'm also not a huge fan of Mobies on Nami. Not a huge fan of them, but it's down to preference. Honestly, this game I would probably be building Ninja Tabis. Beautiful bubbles this game, man. Crazy bubbles. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I honestly 100% would have bought Ninja Tabis this game. Aurelia, Pike, Jhin, Graves. Yep. Okay, so here I would definitely be backing. I would be backing the second after I cleared that ward. Give him a W and back. He's going to be doing his thing. You don't need to be here for this. Every second you spend down here is just wasted time and unnecessary risk like this. So you gotta be thinking about that best case, worst case scenario, man. Best case, you get a ward out and you get maybe 1 or 2 autos on the turret. Worst case, that happens.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And I know I'm hammering in this cheesy ass best case, worst case scenario, but I'm telling you, dude, it will help form your instincts as a player. It will help inform every single micro decision that you make. I'm telling you, if you can get that down, you will become a significantly better player. It will inform every single mouse click that you do. Even minor positioning things like this. When you're walking close to a Malphite. Now, best case scenario, you're walking around, nothing bad happens. Worst case scenario, he presses R right here on you and you're dead, right? So I'm telling you, you get that down, you'll be just constantly running in the back like a background process of your mind. It will inform every single mouse click that you do. He could have killed you there. Malphite could have killed you there. Oof. Okay, too ambitious. The Azir missed the ultimate. We're not going to be able to get anything off that, or we shouldn't be. Don't follow up on something that already went wrong. Good bubble though. Okay, let me rewatch this. Maybe I'm incorrect here. Honestly, I still think that it's just them misplaying it, like, horrifically. Malphite could have walked this way. This shouldn't have worked, but it's one of those things that, you know, if it worked, it worked. I'm on the fence about that one. I wouldn't have ulted off that. I would have just considered it a failed play. I wouldn't have tried to salvage it. But you did, and you did salvage it. You end up getting a kill off it, so I'm on the fence about that one. Interesting Baron call. I'm not quite sure this is a great Baron call. Yikes. So that was just one of those solo queue things. I'm not gonna harp on about what could have gone differently there. The only thing that I want to point out is that imagine if you had your ultimate there. I understand that that wasn't 100% your fault, and that you probably wouldn't have been doing the Baron if you didn't kill your Malphite with the ultimate. But if you're ever in a position like that, you would just so much rather have a safe ultimate where they're dashing into your face. Aurelia's, you know, collapsing on the pit, Graves dashing into the pit, and then you throw the ultimate. So the more you save them for moments like that, or the less you use them in moments like this, where it's just a long shot that happens to work sometimes, the more you'll have them for moments like this, where it's going to be inherently useful and possibly game defining. So that's kind of an iffy situation where I consider that a bad Nami ult that happened to work out, and a bad Baron call that shouldn't have been happened. That shouldn't have happened. Oh my god. Malphite is tilted off the planet after that. Yeah, investing in a stopwatch would be great here, actually. I think you're building Locket, which is quite bad versus their team, and let me explain why. You're not getting any CDR off of that. You're not getting any CDR off of Locket, and Pike ult actually goes through Locket. So a large portion of their burst is not being mitigated by your mitigation tool there. I very rarely build shields against Pike. Even if Pike isn't, like, you know, popping off, he's doing reasonably well this game. Even if Pike isn't, you know, 4 or 5 kills at this stage of the game, I don't build shields against him, just because there's a chance that it will be completely mitigated by his ultimate. Unmitigated, I guess, since shields are a mitigation tool. Negated, we'll say. The shields would be negated by his ultimate.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has reconnected.
He's having some connection issues, isn't he? Okay, remember, best case scenario here. Best case, worst case. Best case, he ults you and one-shots you. He's full AP Malphite. Worst case, sorry. That's worst case. Okay, you're walking over wards. You gotta be thinking about that worst case scenario. Unfortunately, your team is overextending in a place that you can't get to them safely. You have to take a really long route. I would not be going over here. I would be going over here, potentially even around the dragon pit, just because we've seen that Malphite. We've seen him here. We saw a glimpse of his ward here. He can definitely turn and one-shot you. I promise you that. This is really, really dangerous, risky pathing with basically no payoff. Another super, super ambitious ult. I don't like ults like these. I know I'm harping on this, but legit, you've got to get that out of your system. You've got to stop doing that. And here we have the worst case scenario. Right? Okay, Nocturne's down. So you want to save your ult for moments like this, man. You want to save your ults for moments like where your jungler goes down. It's a 4v5 and you're wanting to disengage. Don't do this cross map. Pray that it hits, because sometimes it hits. That's why I'm on the fence about seeing plays like this. Remember when you ulted here and it happened to work out? That's why I hate to see plays like that work, because it further enforces a bad habit in you. You want to save your ult for like times like this. Like now would be a great ult. Throw it right there. They either have to walk the long way around, essentially ensuring you get away, or they eat the wave. That's your role as Nami. Your role is not to make these cross map 420 MLG shots. I promise you. Good bubble though. Okay, back out, back out. Oh my god, ping the shit out of that Tristana. Why was she so close to them? That was a 4v5 too. Alright. So they're just gonna bleed you of objectives here, unfortunately. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know how this happened, but you never want to put yourself in a position like this. I fast forwarded it assuming you were just going to back up and like give them the objectives, because that's the correct call. This way, this way. Don't walk this way through the nearsighted. Too much unnecessary risk. Yeah, I fast forwarded there, just literally assuming you're going to back up. Alright, at this stage of the game, I'm sure they're just legit going to like bleed you. Well, let me get the context, see if this is a good or bad ult. Okay, we see them fighting down a hallway. It is in the jungle, so they don't have anywhere to dodge. I would say this is a decent ult. It didn't end up hitting anyone, but I'm not mad about that ult. You waited for follow-up CC. You tried to disengage a losing fight. I'm not mad about that ult. That was a decent ult. See, it's one of those things where sometimes it works even though it was a bad call, and you don't want to build those habits. But sometimes, even when it's a good call, it doesn't work. But as long as you're building those good habits, I'm okay with seeing those ults that miss. Okay. You guys are putting up a fight. Yeah, you guys are going down swinging. They built up a pretty respectable gold lead. They got 3 dragons, 4 turrets on you. Stole the Baron. Investing in a stopwatch at this stage of the game would be great. So I do want to talk a little more about your itemization. I definitely would have gone Ninja Tabi. Ardent Sensor's fine. You have a lot of auto attackers on your team. Ardent Sensor's a great first buy here. Over Locket, I would have gone probably Redemption. Maybe even Mikhail, not Mikhail's. Mikhail's would have been fine, but a Fiends. Fiends would have been neat. Just for the mana stuff and, you know, a little bit of survivability against the Malphite. Locket, not so much. I don't like the Locket buy. And boots are down to preference, but I personally would have gone Ninja Tabi. Okay, so we are desperately trying to stall the game out. This is again bad Nami ult, man. You're getting too ambitious with your ults. Way too ambitious with your ults. Wait for follow-up CC. Wait for them to either dive you. Wait for follow-up CC. This is just completely projected. There's no way this is going to turn into anything unless they severely misplay. I'm talking bronze 5. You're just getting too ambitious, man. Yeah, you guys do not want to be fighting this. I don't know who's encouraging this to fight. But this is not a scenario we're wanting to fight. This is a scenario where like you want to clear your waves and push the waves in a way that you're ready for the next Baron spawn. Try to keep your turrets up. Yep. So just imagine, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound here. Imagine if you had your ultimate now. Imagine, man. And that may have even honestly played a part in Malphite's decision making there to go in, because he knows they don't have their major disengage tool. So the ultimates are probably the biggest sin that I'm seeing out of your gameplay. Beautiful bubbles, man. I think you're also on the path. So I'm just going to talk as I assume the game is ended out here. I think that you are on the path to figuring out your limitations in terms of presence, you know, sticking around as long as you can without dying, things like that. I think you're disrespecting Graves a lot, and maybe you just haven't ran into a good or a fed Graves in your games, but you've wound up in Graves' face like twice, and I think that you're just not respecting how busted that champion is. But really good Qs. I would have itemized differently. Really good Qs. And like I said, I think you're on the path to figuring out how presence works and your limitations and how to really use it throughout solo queue. Your ults, you really need to be thinking about your ults. They're just too ambitious, man. They're just too ambitious, and they're not playing to like how Nami is supposed to play. You are a disengaged champion. You are not a let's make a montage cross map tidal wave kind of stuff. Okay, so you're putting up a fight, but I do assume that something bad happens here. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like that's going to be the end of the game. Naked Nexus. Alright. So, to wrap this up, work on your ultimates, work on no, it's not that you're shooting bad ultimates. It's that you don't really seem to like know your role with your ultimate. You're a disengaged champion. Wait until they dash in on you. Wait until you have something to disengage. Wait until they're already locked down. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because I keep thinking maybe it's not over yet, but it is in fact over now. But yeah, Vegetable Gremlin Man, thanks for sending this in. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions at all about anything that I've said, please, please, please reach out to me. Discord, Twitch, YouTube, comment, anything. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something as well. Take it easy. Peace.